Evening, boys.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good, good. Let's know who's seen Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
Not I.
I haven't seen it yet, but that is on my list. I definitely want to check it out.
I really do not. I'm tired
You
of.
don't?
No, I wasn't a huge fan of the first one, and
Sacrilege.
I'm tired of these. Hey, it's 30 years later, and we've got these sequels because and Michael Keaton's great. He came back as Batman and made it work, but I'm so tired of these delayed sequels to things just to cash grab. It's like,
You don't like the cycle of coming back around after 20, 30 years to revisit something, an old sequel. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm trying to think of anything that actually did that well for me.
Maverick, come on. You got to tell me Maverick was awesome.
Maverick, the new Beverly Hills Cop movie.
Oh, I
have not watched Beverly Hills Cop.
And that's on Netflix, is it?
Netflix. Yep. We're going to get Happy Gilmore 2.
Oh God, please. Like the first Happy Gilmore was great, but why again, why are we bringing back old? It should have just either you do a sequel back when it's like fresh, or you do so. Like with Ghostbusters, I kind of like what they did. However, I did not like them bringing back the old Ghostbusters. I actually was okay with them starting a new generation based on the original, like the based in the original like prime timeline of Ghostbusters. Not like the Girl Busters movie,
right?
So I'm okay with them borrowing from the old, but like you can't just make the movie that's just like based on like bring it for a new audience, and that's what they did with Ghostbusters Afterlife. You know what I mean? Like, and then in the new one, was it Frozen Empire? They leaned more into, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd. And I love those guys, but they're just done. Like Bill Murray's there for a paycheck.
I keep forgetting. I need to check that one out. I have not watched Frozen Empire yet. I don't know why.
It was good in concept, but if they would have just leaned on the new characters and made the new characters not rely on the old characters, it would have been much better, in my opinion. So I don't mind it like being like the grandkid of the, but it's like with Beetlejuice, you're bringing back Michael Keaton, you're bringing back a lot of the original actors that are still alive that were in the movie just to cash grab. It's like Indiana Jones. What one of the not the I haven't seen the Circle of Destiny or whatever it's called, but the Crystal Skull one. It's like, come on, man! Like
that one I didn't care for too much.
Exactly, it's cash grabby.
That one was not good.
Yeah, so that's mine. I know 4 minutes in and I'm already talking about not Trek stuff, but like, you know what I mean? Like Star Trek did it right. Star Trek, like they've moved on, they've moved up. So I know I have a very odd viewpoint on movies and stuff like that, but
it's okay.
We'll see. I mean, I haven't seen it. I'm not a big Beetlejuice fan, but Crystal is. So I'm sure we'll go see it. We'll see. I think we'll go see it just because we found a really good movie theater with good food. So
one of those ones that's they serve you the food to your seat.
Yeah, it costs you like $20 to go see the movie, but $47 was our food bill at the last.
Yeah, really.
Jeez, man, I could have got.
That's where they get you.
Yeah, I know, I know, but that's okay. It was a nice theater.
They get you on the food and the snacks. That's where they get you.
It was just fine. That's fine. And listen, I'm a big believer that you're going for an experience, right?
Right.
Out to a movie because you want to experience something different. If I have to pay, so what was that? That was probably, the whole thing was probably $75. Okay, so $37.50 a person for an evening of entertainment. Okay, right. That's cool. And food and entertainment for $37.50. I'm like, works for me. That's
not a cheap date. I don't like going. Like I love going in IMAX, but I hate the reclining chairs. You guys have those reclining chairs in your area?
Oh yeah.
I hate.
You don't like reclining chairs? You just don't like to relax and have fun, man.
You're a fucking old man. Get off.
I'm there. No, but you're right. I'm there for an experience. I'm there to I'm not there to sit back and relax and I want to sit in my chair. I don't mind like a little bit of rocking, but like the big electric roll.
You're not the only miserable fuck right now. Look at this guy. Yes.
Segue was perfect.
We are announcing the release of Axanar, so stay tuned and we'll tell you when.
Yeah, but after I go on for another 15 minutes about modern cinema and how we're too complacent. No.
Right. The point is we're going to do what we want. That's
how about that? How about we have some fun and talk? And but we'll show you some Axanar behind the scenes of post-production. I will say that to leave Cheeto in the dust here, so we don't have to hear him whine about modern cinema anymore. No, I'm just joking. Which listen, there's so much entertainment these days that I almost feel like we all have an obligation to support the theater, to support the cinema, because it's so easy for us to be entertained, and look, and I said it 10 years. When did Batman versus Superman come out? 8 years ago?
That was 2016, I think it was, wasn't it?
So 2016? Yeah, probably.
Look that up.
8 years ago, right? When Batman versus Superman came out.
2016.
Yeah, and everyone was whining about it. I said, Batman versus Superman, and you're whining about it? I'm like, 20 years ago, we would have killed for Batman versus Superman. Look at the shit that we had to grow up on.
Howard the Duck.
And I'm older than you guys. I had to grow up on like the TV bullshit Captain America and bullshit Punisher and the real bullshit. I mean, these days we have so much. So I hate to sound like an old man, but it's like, oh, just suck it up and enjoy what you can and don't complain about there's so much content out there, right? We're not waiting 17 years for the next Star Wars movie. And you get about all you want, but I think we ultimately have to decide what we like, because there's so much stuff. Decide what you like, and let's talk about what we like, because you could talk about how shitty the Acolyte was, or we could talk about Andor season 2 coming up and how excited we are about that, because that's,
is there a date for that yet? I'm super. That's my favorite Star Wars show, like, period.
Listen, I don't blame you. I like Ahsoka. I like Ahsoka too, but I think Andor is the best. Andor is the best Star Wars TV, the way Rogue One is the best Star Wars movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100% agree.
Yeah,
I would. People like gasp when I say, "Look, I'd take Rogue One over any Star Wars movie."
Absolutely,
any. If I had to watch one Star Wars movie for the rest of my life, it'd be Rogue One.
Yep, I'm with you, and I'm not denigrating the original trilogy. Right?
No.
They're great movies. We all love them. Right. But Rogue One was on the other day, and I watched it because I hadn't seen it in a while, and I was like, "Holy fuck, this is good." Mm-hmm. And that's the way I feel when I'm watching Andor. And Andor, especially because Andor can be kind of dark, right? And kind of it's oppressive the way Battlestar Galactica, the new Battlestar Galactica, is oppressive. I was talking with a friend about that yet. Like, I haven't seen BSG all the way through a second time, just because I'll get to I'll watch the miniseries, which is brilliant, and 33, and then I'm like, I know what I'm in for. It's not good. Right. It's not good. Not good as it's brilliant filmmaking, but I just want to go watch something and feel better about myself.
Yeah, Battlestar Galactica is pretty dark. That's for sure.
But Rogue One is just so freaking brilliant. I'll come to the point on Sunday when I don't feel that way, and the next day I'll probably blow my brains
out. honestly, the only show in my opinion that, like, of Star Wars that was really irredeemable was Book of Boba Fett. They had a real opportunity there and they crapped the bed. Everything else, in my opinion, was service. Everything else, in my opinion, was either serviceable or good. I liked Mandalorian. I liked Obi-Wan enough. Ahsoka was good. I'm not a big fan of Jedi stuff, but I thought Ahsoka was really good because it was not focused on Skywalker bullcrap. Yeah. And
I'm with you.
There's one other. Oh, and obviously Andor, because that's the best. But yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah, so and this is the thing that gets me. I mean, yes, we can all be doomcock and bitch about everything. And again,
Right.
I'm doomcock. I enjoy show the guy. I think his overwhelming negativity hides the talents the guy has actually. Or we can decide there's stuff I like, and let's talk about the stuff we like.
Yeah, I can't stand the overwhelming negativity.
Everything is awful.
There is a lot of that out there,
especially with the Acolyte. Like I was trying, because it was a Jedi show that was not in the Skywalker saga. I understand that it had issues and problems, but I was trying to find good things, because this is kind of what I wanted. I wanted Jedi stuff outside of the Skywalker saga. I didn't want it hampered by the entire the Imperial Civil War, or what is it, the Galactic Civil War, and all that. I'm so glad it took place prior to all that, and there really wasn't too much crossover with that. Obviously, Plagueis kind of is a crossover ish, but that was just a cameo. But anyway,
I just think, when you look at the Star Wars TV shows, multiple, they're so much better than the last 3 movies. I mean, and Cheeto, watching Rogue One, because Rogue One isn't on as much as the other 3. Meanwhile, I watched Rise of Skywalker the other day, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I remember why I hate this movie. Yeah. And it's funny because Rise of Skywalker is like, it's like the fucking Grand Canyon. It's like awful, awful, awful. That was really cool. Awful, awful.
Right.
Awful. That was really cool. And it's like, because JJ has a good sense for moments. His stories suck, but there's some things in Rise of Skywalker, I mean, that I love. That whole lightsaber fight on the water on the ship, all the way through when Han Solo shows up again, is fucking brilliant in my book. I love that shit. But the whole idea of all the ships rising out of what the fuck they were rising out of? The Earth?
Water.
Water? What the fuck is? Why aren't they just fucking in orbit where they were being built or something? And how many ships did you build? And how many people?
Because it has thematical value.
Yeah. There's so much bullshit, but anyway, I like to focus on the things, that's why I never talk about Last Jedi, because it's so fucking.
And speaking of Star Wars, the huge news, the unfortunate passing of James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Wow, that was
93, man. Yeah.
I mean, he had a good life, but I mean, it's tragic. I mean,
yeah, but remember last year he signed away the rights to his voice to Lucasfilm. So there could be Darth Vader in the future, and God bless him for doing that.
Which is that was the good thing to do.
I somewhat disagree, only because I feel like it might take a job away from somebody who could be the next. Like it's like with Batman. Like you've got Kevin Conroy was always Batman, and then you started having people who finally had, finally some more people started taking on the mantle of Batman in voice and animation. Mm-hmm. And if let's just say that Kevin Conroy, now they just use AI with all Kevin Conroy. I get what you're saying. It's nice, but at the same time, I feel like it takes away from a job. And I know it's only going to be 1 or 2 jobs or whatever.
Well, listen, it's a rights issue.
Yeah,
James Jones signed away his rights. Signed away meaning he signed a contract. So I'm sure his heirs are making good bank off of that deal. That's the way it should be. He has the rights to his voice, right? And so that I feel strongly about that. I'm going to jump through here. Boyd mentions. Listen, I liked Rey. I actually liked Rey as a character. She was.
I didn't mind Rey. Rey I didn't mind. John Boyega's character, Finn. I thought he was poorly written, but I didn't mind him playing the charter. If he was written better, it would have been fine. And Poe Dameron's one of my favorite Star Wars characters. I love.
Poe's good. Poe's a good character. And then I'm going Ripley from Aliens, greatest female action star. Yeah. Know what I saw? I just was flipping through my phone and I saw. Remember the scene in Alien? What is that? That's Aliens 4. anyway, she with the one with Ron Perlman and
that's the fourth one.
Yep. Fourth one. There's a scene where she's got her back to a basketball.
Yes.
Hoop, and she throws it over and makes it. That was real. She did that in one take. Floored, and even she was like, I can't believe I did that. I didn't touch the ground for 10 days. And Ron Perlman was like, no, it was fucking real. Like there were people going, no, she did it in one take. I'm like, holy, whoa.
I mean, hours upon hours of practice, but when it came down to doing the take, that was the take.
One take.
First one.
Hey, I mean, look, it will bring it back to Star Wars. If Luke can shoot 2 torpedoes down a blast port that's only yay big, I mean, Ripley can switch a behind the head shot.
Yeah, she sunk that.
That was amazing. That's amazing. No, Ripley. Has anyone seen the new Aliens movie?
I have not. I've heard it's pretty good, but I'm
so over that franchise. I'm not a horror fan. I've seen it all. Oh, face huggers, chest bursters. You're gonna get, I'm just like that.
Yeah, they got to introduce something new to it to make
That's
it.
Where
fresh.
I thought Predator Aliens was an interesting concept. Like, okay, that's interesting. And as bad as those movies were, I thought the concept was really interesting.
You didn't like Alien versus Predator?
I liked the first one. Okay. That first one was pretty good, I thought, with the pyramid underneath the.
Right.
I was like, oh, and they're seeding planet. I thought that was pretty good stuff. So, I do want to show for all our loyal fans here. We have a couple things to show you guys about Axanar, since it is Axanar After Dark.
Please tell me it's a strong female lead.
We have a strong female lead. Yes, we do. And we've added a couple. We're actually in post-production doing 2 inserts. We're doing 3 inserts, and they're all female, as a matter of fact. Nice. One of those has been finished already, and I'm very excited about it. And it's and then we've got it, and then I think next month we're going to shoot the next 2, which are going to take a little work, but we're making a lot of progress. We got a new guy on board doing compositing. And so what I'm going to show everyone here is some background. We're going to start with some background. So I think I've showed the Klingon backgrounds, and Dana was working on the Klingon background, which is the Hall of Immortals. We have 3 Klingons that are going to be composite on this one set, this one digital set. But our new compositor is doing something a little different, and he's generating basically previs in AI. And we're going to look and find the backgrounds we like, what works, what doesn't, modify what we do, and then he's going to craft the background. So he took one of our characters, Korax, who's our shapeshifter, and I'm going to show you guys that. So here, what I'm showing you here is our guy took the character, just took a cap of one of the scenes and created a bunch of backgrounds in AI and said, okay, which direction do you want to go in? So here, and here they are. And obviously we're on Starbase 1. So a couple different designs. How do you want the windows? What do you want the structure? What kind of lighting do you want in the background?
Wow. How far out are they if the galaxy is in the background? Holy cow.
Yeah. I know, right?
Well, again, just just fucking with things. We didn't improve that one.
I know. I've nothing.
And so he gives you a bunch of looks, and you can, what's going to look good. And so a lot of
one looks cool, but like not for Star Trek, but it looks cool.
Which one?
3 up on the right side. It looks cool. I just don't know maybe if you're in astrometrics, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But I don't know, like not for like a ready room or a 10 forward.
And also, how much background do you want? Like, for example, I would think this one on the left in the middle is a little much. I like it. It's very Star Trek. But it's probably a little more background than we need. And if you go back to Prelude, the backgrounds are very diffuse and you're not seeing a lot of detail. So there's a lot to consider in these. But So this is kind of like previs. This is previs. What are we thinking? What are we liking?
And the one at the bottom left looks a lot like a Star Destroyer bridge.
Which one? Oh, this?
No, I'm sorry. Second to bottom. I'm sorry. That one in the middle.
Yeah,
on the left side. Like that just reminds me of like the windows on the Star Destroyer.
Yeah. So okay. So the other thing I'm going to show you then is then
I like those backgrounds.
Oh yeah, they're all really good looking.
Yeah. So it's good stuff. So then let me also show you. So then he just did a quick composite. Took one of the ones we liked, and he ran some car, and from this we made more suggestions, and we like felt the lights on the right side were just too much. I'll tone that down.
However, it does feel a little claustrophobic, but I like that because it makes it feel more of like a military vessel.
Yeah.
Yeah, like something in between Enterprise and like TOS, like I don't know what the room technically would be for, but it does feel a little claustrophobic. And that's what I liked about the NX-01 was that it felt more like a submarine. And this kind of feels like the next step up. And that's where this takes place is 10 years before TOS, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. I actually really like that one. That's probably for me, that's maybe the lights are too much, but like that kind of like the way the background narrows more.
Yeah. So there you go. There's that, that's kind of the stuff we're working on. And there's lots of stuff coming off the line. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to see it. It's a lot of fun to work on it. We're making progress and not as fast as I'd like, but you know what? After 10 years, what's a couple more months? We got it. Right. We got to do it right. We got to nail it. Boyd asks a question. He says, now that the Star Trek franchise rights are flexed, can the Axanar movie be made? No, I mean, it's that hasn't changed. We're still still working on the settlement agreement. Listen, even if Skydance said, all right, we love you guys, you're great, go ahead and make a movie. Well, we don't have the money to make a movie. We'd have to, we're finishing what we're doing.
I was about to say, you guys are way far in the production process to just turn around.
We're going to release this no matter what. I mean, no matter what. So I just hope, I hope the new people at Skydance are a little more enlightened than the current junta, regime at Paramount, and has a little, treats their fans with a little more respect.
We can hope that they're more enlightened.
Yes, we absolutely can. So that's kind of where we are. The shapeshifter is not a founder. She's an Antosian, which is of course what you learn from Whom Gods Destroy. It's a big part. It's a big part of that. I
think it's good that we have alternate shape-shifting races in the universe, because it always kind of struck me weird that we only had like one or two, now that kind of like spoiler alert for season 5 of Discovery, but the brain kind of have like a shape-shifting aspect to them. I mean, they're not like shapeshifters per se, but they're not exactly like flesh and bone either, Right. And I like the fact that we're getting that. The Tholians, I like the fact that they're more of like a crystalline entity, like they're not like that. That's the kind of variety we need in the universe, not, everybody looks like the same thing, just with maybe a different shade of color and ridges or, different.
Which of course which is what you got in the original Star Trek, because it was the 60s and makeup and what it was.
And as I said, I know they did what they could for the time, but I'm talking about in today's day, like from like even TNG on, like they had the capabilities to, and the budget to actually, and they branched out really well. I think, I wouldn't mind seeing even more.
There has been some good variety in the races, just in, all the Star Trek series. And you're right. I like seeing some more variety in not just humanoids, some more shapeshifters, some more crystalline based life forms, and there's
The Horde are
silicate base. It was what I was trying to
even non-corporeal,
Yeah, non-corporeal.
Yeah.
So we're getting more variety with more budget. You get more variety.
And that's, I think, one thing Star Trek does way better than Star Wars. Not to rope it back there, but one of the sad things about like Obi-Wan and Andor is that you didn't see a lot of non-humanoid races. Like, you got your one here and there, but like you really had to search for like aliens in those shows. And I get it, budgetary reasons, but Trek makes it work for a long time.
That is that is the skydiver from the TV show UFO. That's one of my pride and joys of models. I'm just saying. Over here, I've got my flying sub. You can see the flying sub right there, and then outside I have my Nautilus. So I've got all sorts of submarines around this house. Here's a little treasure I got recently. Let's see if I can.
Model making. I haven't put together a model in forever.
Oops.
I'll take be careful with that. That looks valuable.
This is I've had this for a while. This is the Kelvin communicator from the first Star Trek movie. With its little holster. I hunted this down for like 10 years. It took me forever to get it. I've got the phaser already, but I got this the case I got on eBay. It's a Master Replicas communicator case.
Oh,
yeah. I'll take it. It's hard to see. So yeah, there you go. It's and I got it for $99. It was just the case. Many of you, the Master Replicas are still some of the best prop replicas that have ever made, but the cases were just amazing. And so now I've got to get a phaser case for my Kelvin phaser. But anyway, I got that. So I was, I'm not really buying props anymore. It's kind of like,
yeah, but sometimes something comes along when you're like, so. Funny story with me is recently I've been trying to complete some of my card collections, like my old Marvel 93, 94, 95 Ultra Fleer collections. Wow. Yeah. So like I have a lot of them, but there's just these here and there spots that I just, could never find them either at the comic book store and, in their, because, they'll have the books that you can go through and like buy individual ones. And I could just never find them before. So I'm like, and keep in mind, I haven't looked in decades. So it's like, with the wonder of eBay nowadays, and, I'm like, I've been and I only have to order like 5 or 6 cards to complete certain collections. And also I've recently gone through and I've completed 2 of my collections. I'm almost done completing 2 others, and these cards are not expensive. They're like $1, $2, $3.
Oh, wow.
But, oh yeah, they're not really expensive at all anymore.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean that's the beauty of the internet. You used to have to go hunt them down at card shows.
Mm-hmm. I've done that with a couple comic books where I've missed a comic book, and if for some reason I just couldn't find it in any of the local shops. So when comic cons before they were like comic cons would come to the area, like I would go and search like other comic store bins that they would bring.
And that's one of the things I've been meaning to do that I've just never gotten around to. Is I've got a lot of different comics, Star Trek comics, Transformers, and some other things. But one of the ones I've always wanted to try to finish out is there was the original run of the first 80 issues of Transformers. That Generation 1 first run comics. There's several I need to get there, which I just I've got a long list of stuff that I want to do and accomplish in life, and it's just a never ending list. But taking note of the ones I need and going to the comic cons and flipping through trying to complete collections. But the thing is, though, that stuff can get pretty pricey pretty fast because there are just so many comics, and it's like, how do you even attempt to complete a collection? And
also just that's a custom made comic case there. Top row, four shelves up there for regular comics, and the ones below hold CGCs, and it's not even full now. I mean, I've got, just because it's like, kind of over collecting comics, and because if you ever go to sell them, unless they're CGC graded comics and popular, you're not getting any money for them. So you better enjoy it. And
that's what I do. I read mine. I get a lot of my comics out of a lot of the comic books. I try to just fill out my collection. I get them out of the quarter bin. They're not going to be worth anything, and all I'm going to do is read them.
Right.
My kids like, man, Dad, you must have, like, I literally have, I think I'd have to go and look at my inventory, but I want to say last time I looked, I had like 6,000 or something like that. But yeah, maybe, or
6,000 comics.
Maybe. Hold on. Let me look.
Jesus.
I've been collecting since I was 7.
Wow, but still, my God, that is.
I might be wrong on that. I might be mixing my numbers up. Maybe my collection's profit is worth 6,000. I don't remember.
Well, still, that's an impressive collection.
But as I said, a lot of them are like
all these shelves are all these bookshelves here are just my book collection.
Right.
I love my books, and I've got Warhammer books. I got all the ones down the end there, right there. Those are all Star Trek. I've like the first edition hardcover of every Star Trek novel of the original series. So I've collected for years and years. Started back in when the first one, Spock's World, first came out in like 87, I think it came out. So we all collect things. As long as it brings you pleasure, and you're not
2,665 comics.
Is that it?
Okay.
My current value is $12,510.
Nice.
Ooh,
very nice.
Not bad.
Here, look. Do you want me to? I don't like. Do you want me to bring up my inventory really quick if you want to look at it?
I'm going to see your.
Calculate the value. Is it synced to a database, to a service?
Yeah, it's called mystashcomics.com. They basically bring up all the that you can put how much they're worth, how much, like if I get out of the quarter bin, I'm like, I usually put it like in fair minus to poor health, just because they're out of the quarter bin. Like it's not going to be worth anything. But then I have some really good comics that as I said, I still have it from when I was a kid that I've taken good care of. So, hold on. I'm going to share my.
Man, that's pretty good. That's a good haul. So you've been collecting for, you said since you were 7?
So I don't know if one of you guys can bring that in.
Yeah, Jeff.
Yeah.
All right. So
stashmycomics.com. Okay, that's cool.
The only thing is that usually there's a couple weeks, that they're behind on uploading stuff. But you can also like my stash and then your pull list, and then you can go in and like tell it what comics you want it to pull, like of the ones that you've added. So,
and like it's a comic book, and it's a retail service as well?
Well, no, I mean, like if I go in and I say, okay, I've been collecting Amazing Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, Immortal Thor, Sonic the Hedgehog for my son, Titans, and then World's Finest, Teen Titans, and Titans. Those are the ones that I'm currently on right now. It'll just automatically, when I go to my pull list, if I haven't updated this, it'll automatically say, hey, did you get these ones?
Okay.
Gotcha.
So but yeah, if you go into
it tells you your cost.
Yep. Yeah, it shows. So I've got these are all of my different series ish. I mean, I have them in my own type of order. I don't split it up between a lot of different volumes, but if there's different names Spider-Man, Deadpool, Web of Spider-Man, you can see I've been collecting Spider-Man forever.
Jeez, look at all those different Spider-Mans.
I know, right? So, and then all the X folk down here.
That's some good organization right there.
As I said, I found this site. I've been using it for years. I literally went through an inventory to everything.
I love that. Powered by Geek Energy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. And then what you'll do is, so I'll just pull up. I'm trying to think of a current one. Amazing Spider-Man is one that I'm currently collecting. Amazing the Spider-Man. So it has every different thing. It has every different type, because every now and then they'll start back at number 1. So you can have the list, and as you can see here, I'll put it so when I paid 20, some of these here are I even put in here, I paid 25 cents for it from the quarter bin. It's fine condition, so it's currently worth 90 cents. I even put fine on this one, number 101. This one here is worth $24, even in fine condition.
Oh, wow.
So that's what I mean. And then the greatest thing I love looking at is the gallery mode, where you can just go through and you can see all the covers.
That's cool. Very nice.
So yeah. And I mean, so I don't like Amazing Spider-Man that, goes back ages and ages and ages. Like I don't have a lot of those, you know what I mean? Like, so.
Oh yeah. I had a couple of those when I probably still have my originals.
But yeah, so, yep. As I said, it was like a godsend when I found it. Cause I always wondered like, how many books do I have? What are they worth? But so, yeah, my kids think I'm a nerd. My daughter called me.
You're a nerd. I got news for you. You are.
Yeah.
Well, no, the great thing was that my daughter, she's like, Dad, I know you hear this a lot, but this is coming from me. You're a nerd. I'm like, thanks, I guess.
Well, I always say I'm a geek. I'm not a nerd. I'm a geek. I'm a geek about many things. I'm a geek about.
Right.
And I don't think there's anything to be ashamed of about being geeky about.
Oh yeah, no. Times have changed. You're allowed to be geeky now.
That's a good collection, man.
New black.
But anyway, so okay, I'll get rid of this now. So anyway,
very cool.
Less about me.
No, that's all good stuff. Scott says he quit collecting because the stores were so far away from him. That's what mail order is for, my friend. I just got, matter of fact, back there, I have somewhere. I have a copy of previews. It's in the comic book shop. Usually I go to the comic book shop and all I'll get is previews, and I'm just not interested in buying pamphlets anymore. So, if I really want to read a story, I'll buy a trade paperback. And I've got, holy shit, I've got that. By the way, speaking of comics, geez.
The Axanar comic? What? Oh.
I was thinking the same thing.
No, I can't.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I can't, but I will. This is my favorite comic book of all time. Absolute Planetary. Planetary was a limited run of, God, what is it, 26 issues? I forget now. I forget how many issues were. John Cassidy, Warren Ellis. It is honestly the greatest comic book of all time. It is insane. It is so good. And John Cassidy passed away last week. You may be familiar with his work on Captain America or The Lone Ranger or Planetary, many other things. But young, 52 years old, and he passed away. And beloved in the comic industry. So, yeah, sorry to see that. It's amazing, how young some people. There was someone else who passed away at that, and I forgot who it was, in some other industry, who was young like that, was like 52 or something. And but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's shocking, especially because James Earl Jones passed away at 93, right? We have, people, a lot of people you hear are passing away in their 90s, which never used to happen.
I don't want to live that long. It's depressing to think that, I'm going to be 47 next week. And I was just thinking to myself, okay, double that, do another run. Oh no. No, thank you.
I work in nursing homes. So it's like, as a therapist, I see some 90-some-year-old people that are really bad. And I see some that are really good. So it's like, it just depends on how you take care of yourself. Like
it absolutely does.
If you treat yourself like in your body, like garbage, then yeah, like come 65, 70, 75, you might be like, man, I'm done. My knees can't take it. My back can't take it. My brain can't take it. But like I know people that are in their late 80s right now that are just like, they're still going strong. They come and walk on the treadmill down in, in our gym. They're still moving. They're still with it enough to like, there's, when you're in your 80s, your brain's going to start misfiring a lot, but like, they're still well enough to be like, I'm enjoying life and whatever I have left of it.
Yeah.
I kind of want to be done by the time I get to my 50s.
Oh, no. My grandpa was 87 when he passed away at home.
Dude, I just turned 64.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. That's something.
Yeah, no, I already, before I had a half hour before we signed on. So I went out for a ruck, put a 20-pound backpack on my back and took off.
64, even that sounds like, that's just a lot of years.
Well, I know. Again, Jeff, it's all how you take care of yourself.
I think, Jefferson, I think you're on a journey right now of like becoming healthier. And I mean, we've all seen that over the past year. And I think you're going to come to find that once you get yourself healthy and comfortable, because right now you're getting healthy and you're not in the comfortable phase. But once you get yourself healthy and comfortable, then you'll be like, holy shit, I actually kind of want to do this. Like, I mean, seriously though, because, you've lost a lot of weight. You're taking better care of yourself. You probably ache less, you still ache. I still ache, but
I do ache less. That's true.
So, it's like, as I said, it's all on how you take care of yourself.
Yep. It absolutely is. Listen, I'm 64. So I just turned 64 and my plan is probably to retire at 75, now retire. What does that mean?
What does that mean anymore these days?
I mean, I
only work like 39 hours per week.
Yeah,
that's retirement.
I'll still be doing stuff, but hopefully be doing stuff at home more often, not working for the man, whatever the case may be. Things that take it easy. I really want to spend a lot more time doing my hobbies. I have no time to play Warhammer anymore or build or paint models, or I'd love to get into 3D printing, my Warhammer. I don't have time to do that. I don't have time for Warhammer, let alone 3D printing. But, so things like that, but also, and work out more. Alan, what about Axanar? Well, Axanar's going to be done here. Hopefully
before you retire.
Before I retire. And so maybe we'll do some more. Brian Lampert says he works harder now than when he retired.
Than when he was actually working
harder now, being retired.
But I mean, but you're probably doing stuff that you are passionate about, whether it's improving your home, whether it's doing projects that are passionate to you. I mean, I thought you, no offense, but I thought you were retired, and but that's why you did so many of the animal projects, was because you were independent, whether you were, whether you were financially sound or what, but it sounded like you were doing these things because that's your passion, and you probably work a lot at that.
I do. It's interesting. We've been talking about cutting back on the animal rescue just because we spend so much time on it.
Right.
And you
miss podcasts every now and then. I mean, not acceptable.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But so I mean, we're always, you're always investigating where you're spending your time. I mean, I'm fortunate in my world that being that I don't have kids, I have more time, right? And that time tends to go towards animal rescue. So, it's listen. I also get up. I slept late this morning just because I was up late watching the debate last night and the aftermath.
That bloodbath, yeah.
I know.
I missed it, but I've been wanting. I need to get caught up on some highlights or something, which because that's what I'm going to have to do later tonight as I'm slumbering to unconsciousness, is watch the videos, the memes, the GIFs, the debate.
Oh no, what? No. Watch it in its entirety. First off, get all the context for everything they're talking about. Don't take it in the little bits that you get from online, because that is misleading. I'm just going to tell you right now. For me, after I watched the whole debate last night, I went and I started cross-referencing all the fact checkers, and I spent 2 hours doing that last night after. Wow. Yeah, after, because I'm a centrist, so I like to be informed.
Yeah, good for you.
And the thing is I don't want to vote for Donald Trump, but it just depends on what the best option is. You know what I mean? So I'm fact checking everything, and I spent 2 hours fact checking after the debate. Then this morning I dropped the kids off at school and I still had 45 minutes, so I had to leave to go to work. So I sat down and did more fact checking.
Oh, geez.
So the thing is look, I'm not saying either of them have a squeaky clean record, but man, there was one of the candidates last night. His fact check was I'm not saying who.
Yeah.
No, we don't want to say
he's
who.
More complaining about the refs.
Oh, I know. I saw that too. And I'm like, we could get on the whole. I don't want to get on that topic, but we could, if you want to talk about a little bit of it. I mean, I could go into a lot of the details on some of the stuff.
I actually didn't watch the debate. I was reading my Twitter feed while the debate was going on.
Watch it in its entirety, because it is pure cinema, which is not good for a debate. Like, you don't want your actual political debate to be pure cinema, but it's there and you can watch it. It's there. One is there for the comedy, the other one is there for the zingers. I mean, just
I'll have to watch the replay of it. How long was it? A couple hours?
I love that, Stephen. Yeah. I would love to do it. Believe me, I would love to do a UFO fan film. Absolutely. And do it, period. Absolutely. That would be awesome. I don't know, Jonathan Lane had done a Space 1999 trailer for Interlude. I don't know if you ever saw that. But I want to do a UFO.
No, I want to see that.
It's pretty good, actually. It's pretty good. I want to do a UFO trailer for Axanar when it comes out. Just because I love that opening. Yes, UFO Scott is the one with the purple-haired ladies. That is the one.
Well, we love our purple-haired ladies.
That is great. So I don't know. So what else is up on the geek front while we talk about something outside of the disaster that was last night in Philadelphia?
That's a whole other stream in and of itself. That's why I'm like, I'm not getting into it.
Yeah, you have some new pop figures behind you, it seems.
I do.
Or have you just rearranged them?
I don't think I've moved. The only one I added was Johnny Bravo.
Okay, yeah.
I added Dende from Dragon Ball. Yajirobe from Dragon Ball. But that's about it. Those are the more recent ones that came out that I decided to put up.
Do you have the entire classic X-Men there? Is that all?
Yes, the entire classic line. Yes, I have Angel, Beast, Cyclops, Iceman, Jean Grey.
Very cool.
There was no Professor Xavier in that line.
Wow, why not?
I don't know. They went with the 5 classics.
Would be.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they might do it eventually, but I mean, in that classic line, they didn't. Not that I ever saw. They didn't have an actual Professor Xavier. So, but yeah, no, that's honestly, it's one of my favorite teams. I like the X-Men, but sometimes I think it's bloated, like in the comics and in the movies, where it's like, I kind of like X-Men First Class, where it's like you have a team that's kind of very diverse and very imperfect. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So, it's not like cookie cutter, like, oh, you've got the rugged one, and not like none of these guys up here really scream rugged. They don't scream like Raging Cajun. They don't scream, so that's what I liked about, like, it is sometimes I feel like these teams are too bloated. That's why I like the original Avengers movie, is because there were like 5 of them for most of the movie, and they weren't like always together. Infinity War was really well done because they were all never all together. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't this big, like, and I like the Endgame fight scene, but like in Infinity War, like the balance they played between like the 2 different like scenarios,
the 2 fronts of the battle.
the two battles, and it's like it kept the teams lighter on like the main ones. I know there was like an army in one, but like you've got the main characters, like, and it never felt too bloated, in either fight.
Well, and that's got to be hard to do when you have franchises like this where there are so many characters. The Marvel franchise, the DC franchise. You've got all these characters. You try to do an Avengers movie, and yes, you can start small with your core group of the 5. Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Captain America,
Black
Widow, Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. My thing about Hawkeye in the first one is that he wasn't there very much except for the end. You know what I mean? Like, he was mostly a bad guy through most of the movie, which
mind controlled mostly.
Yeah. And I like that because it gave him not drive. What's the word I'm looking for? Against Loki. It gave him motive, like personal motive against Loki. You know what I mean? So
right.
Everyone's like, "Oh, he was a bad guy for most of the film. He's not really an Avenger." I said, "No, he was. They were developing his motive throughout this movie, so that he would have an actual motive to like really kick Loki's ass at the end." I love the way they did it.
Yeah, no, that was good. I will say though, going back to the original Avengers movie, the only thing that I really have a hard time with Captain America's costume. I had a problem with it when it came out. I thought it was stupid looking. I was really disappointed. Because the first Avenger costume was awesome, and then the Avengers costume was just like so weak. That helmet was awful, but they redeemed themselves in Winter Soldier, which I think is his best costume ever. I thought that one was really good. I did see Winter Soldier again recently, which again, really good movie, really really good movie.
I like his Endgame. I like his Endgame one the most. But I know first Avenger one is, I love it because it fits the time and the period, and it is a great. Don't get me wrong, I'm not slamming. It is a great costume. I like his stealth one in Winter Soldier, but like the Endgame one just kind of seems like all of that into like they take all of those things from all of those outfits and just make it this.
It's the logical progression.
Yeah, it's the final boss outfit. Final form, like
it is. Yeah, it is. So it's still fun to watch those movies. I mean, and Infinity War, I have seen less than Endgame. So it's a little more fun to go back and see. And I'll tell you, Age of Ultron is still a great movie.
Oh, I loved Age of Ultron. Everybody was shitting on it when it came out. I'm like, listen, if I walked into that movie and I wanted to see all of my favorite superheroes bashed together against a bunch of robots, and I thought it was a decent story, but I'm like, no, I got out of it what I wanted. I wanted to see all the Avengers kick the crap out of all the Ultrons, and that's exactly what I got. And the story made sense to me, and I'm like,
yes, that's right.
All I wanted.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know it was you go through that movie, you go, yeah, I believe everything that happened in that movie like kind of made sense, and they tied everything together, and and I guess they're bringing Ultron back.
Yeah, in the
I
Vision
heard about
series.
that. Oh,
well,
there's going to be another Vision series. Is it? I heard snippets about this. Is it another season to WandaVision, or is it a different?
It's a spinoff. Like Agatha All Along's coming out next week. That's a spinoff of WandaVision. The Vision series is going to be a spinoff of WandaVision.
Jesus.
I know. I mean, I like White Vision and I like the Vision plot. I think that is a very interesting dynamic. And I wish they would have focused more on that in the WandaVision show. Although WandaVision was an excellent TV show, I still wish they would have focused on kind of like the dynamic between actual Vision and like Hex Vision is what I call them. From the Hex. I think that would have been more if they would have played on that, rather it be rather be in the last episode, because some of my favorite parts in those last couple episodes was Vision's character progression, that one, and then the White Vision coming in. I think White Vision should have came in middle of the series, maybe even last 3 episodes or something like that.
Right.
So
I could see. Now, was White Vision, is that something from the comics?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for a long time he was White Vision in the comic books. In the MCU, that is actually original Vision. Like that is the original one that the United States government rebuilt. They made him white for some reason. I don't know, because sometimes U.S. government needs to. They're whitewashing him. I don't know. But no, like that is a thing from the comic books. Is that for a while in the comics he went from that green and yellow and red to like that all white outfit.
Now, and in the comics, is the Soul Stone or is it the Mind Stone? Is that it? No, that was something.
No, that was the Sunstone, which is just a really powerful. I think it was a space galactic stone, but it wasn't like an Infinity Stone. Yeah, but it was a pretty powerful, or it was a Sun Gem, I think it was called. I'd have to look it up. But it was like the Sun Gem. It was never the
Infinity Stones.
Yeah, but it was never one of the Infinity Stones. Now, I don't know if they retroed that like in recent comic books since they did that, because you know how the comics like to adapt what the movies are doing.
Right.
So who knows what they did with that, but just like the Eye of Agamotto was never the Time Stone, But I like how they wrapped everything like together. Like they really did do a good job at wrapping everything and made everything kind of. The only one that I was upset about was the Soul Stone, from the, they just went to some random planet and got it,
right.
I thought that was a bit, I don't know, a bit much.
Yeah. Interesting. Scott says in the comics, Adam Warlock had the Soul Stone.
Yes, he did. He is correct.
That's it. Yeah. So we'll look for. By the way, the one thing I got to go back and see. One of the best things Marvel came out with was the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special last year. That was
a good show.
That was brilliant.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that was good. I mean,
I wish they did more special. I think Agatha all along should have been a Halloween special this year instead of a series.
That's interesting.
I think that you could do another Christmas special. I had an idea for one. I don't I think it was like Rocket and like not another Guardians Christmas special, but like the animals like Rocket, Howard the Duck, Cosmo the dog, like like all those animals, and like have like a Christmas special with them or something, like I thought that would be kind of cute and kind of they could play it up because obviously some of those guys are like really like crotchety old men like us, and then like and then like some of them are just sweet and innocent like Groot, so I thought that would have made some kind of special. I thought a Christmas special. The only problem would be is that we've already done like a Christmas special with the Guardians crew, so I don't want it to be a rehash, but
right.
But Drax and Mantis were more involved in the Christmas special this time or last time, so maybe we can get as I said like Rocket and Groot and Cosmo and Howard the Duck in this one, and have James Gunn come back and do it. Like why not? Like, let him do DC projects. Let him direct another Christmas special. He did a great job with it.
Yeah, he did.
Werewolf by Night was really good. That's that was a Halloween special from a couple years ago. You could do
never heard of that one.
Oh, Werewolf by Night. Yeah, look it up. It's based on a comic book, but it's in black and white. And it's actually kind of gory, but it's in black and white. So they can like back a couple years ago in Marvel, you could get away with that. But it's based on like the monsters of like the Marvel universe and stuff like that.
Right. Awesome.
Gotcha. All right. Well, it's 8:00. Time to sign off.
Had fun, guys. Thanks for the live stream tonight.
Yeah, it was good. Thank you everyone for coming out. We appreciate it. We will be back. I know next week I've got Jay from Sidetrack is going to be on Axanar After Dark. I'm sorry, he's going to be on Axanar Confidential on Friday. And he may join us on Axanar After Dark on Wednesday. I would invite him along, so we'll see. But everyone have a good week. Be safe out there. Have fun, and we will see you next time. Live long and prosper, my friends.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.